Speaker, this week saw the passage of reform delivered to deliver significant changes that will move us closer to full equality for LGBTIQA plus people and sex workers in New South Wales, including trans and gender diverse adults that can change their sex on their state documents without undergoing surgery. This is a significant reform, but we know that the original version of the Equality Bill included many other reforms, and the people of Newtown electorate are concerned that we are going to see reforms passed that will not include an end to the discriminatory exceptions in the Anti-Discrimination Act for people who are bisexual, asexual, non-binary, intersex and sex workers, as well as others, and that the protections for LGBTIQA plus students and staff in non-government schools were removed. The push for these reforms for so many years, from so many in the queer and rainbow communities for so long, and so many of the allies who walk alongside them, must be recognised. No one person, no one group, no one organisation is responsible for what reforms have been won this week. Indeed, no one person, no one group, and no one organisation will be able to deliver on the outstanding reforms that are still required. Collective action and coordinated community organising is key to ensuring the legislative reforms won and the legislative reforms needed actually to result in the changes for people's lives. We know that the communities lead and parliaments follow. We know that changes we make in here will actually affect very little change unless that they are given the resourcing, education and priority within government policy decisions and funding directions that accompany cultural and societal shifts. The transphobic and discriminatory rhetoric exhibited in the parliamentary debate on the Equality Bill, as well as the ongoing obsessions of some in our community with the genitalia and bathroom use of others, shows there is sadly no shortage of challenges in this space. And so while we absolutely must celebrate the achievements that have been made, we must also recognise that the things that were dropped, which results in some people left behind, will have real consequences. The Anti-Discrimination Act protects people on the basis of homosexuality, but we know that the rainbow community is so much more than whether or not someone is gay or straight. Our laws must reflect this diversity and ensure that every member of the queer community, and indeed every member of the community, is protected to live free from discrimination. We must amend the Act to extend protections to people who are bisexual, asexual, non-binary, or have variations of sex characteristics. And we must also make amendments to ensure nobody can be discriminated against or vilified on the basis of their occupation, including sex workers. The Greens absolutely agree that the ADA requires wholesale review, but we reject the idea that members of the queer community, sex workers and people with disability need to continue to wait indefinitely for the review before they can get the same protections as everyone else. While protections for people with religious beliefs are treated as so urgent that they were introduced by the government while the review was being undertaken. Queer activists have been fighting for many of these changes for decades. The decision to gut this bill is not one that has been asked for or driven by the community. It is a capitulation to the powerful homophobes and transphobes that sadly sit in this place and beyond. We have heard a lot about compromise over this decision, but we need to be clear that not everyone was involved in this compromise. The compromise took place in negotiations behind closed doors without the input of communities and individuals who will be directly impacted. And this is a serious concern for our democracy. We know that right-wing bigots love a scapegoat. Following the overwhelmingly positive community response to the marriage equality plebiscite, bigots and queerphobes realised that a blatantly homophobic agenda and overt attacks against same-sex couples would not be tolerated. So they instead turned their attention towards other parts of the community. Now they're focusing their energy on scaremongering about trans women who might play in their local football clubs or spreading lies about the gender of a woman competing in the Olympics. The queer community has always known how to fight this kind of scapegoating, and that is through staunch solidarity with each other and collective, coordinated action that leaves no one behind. No politician should get to decide which bits of the community are deserving of equality. No law should define that. Indeed, everybody has the right to be treated equally. Over the last year, our office, as no doubt have many other offices, received hundreds of emails from locals calling for this bill to be urgently passed. We heard from parents of trans kids who are tirelessly working to make this happen. I want to recognise the fact that the member for Sydney has had a personal toll impacted on him by bringing this reform, and also offer our solidarity and respect to all those who are going to see ongoing hostilities as a result of what has been lost.